It's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Bang. There it is. All right. And boom. What's up? Welcome back, goddamn it, to another edition of Tell Me a Joke, the guy out there chasing the dream. I'm your host, Maniacal Menace. Kyle Smith said the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. And today on my side, I have the vibrant one, the poet that that needs a better introduction than what I have for her at this moment. And she is here all smiles, and it is great to see her. Put y'all hands together for Cari Janae. There it is. There it is. Yeah, we got claps. We got claps. There it is.
Thank you.
You can grab that if you feel something. And then yep, you good. Okay. Oh, how you been?
I'm great.
You great.
So?
Yeah, you're gonna be here. You're gonna be here chilling at the post for a little bit because you're gonna be performing tonight.
No worries. You're
gonna be doing your thing tonight. Working
I'm
on
gonna
new
be
pieces.
here for a while. Probably gonna be practicing, honestly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because you have a big show coming up.
I do.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah. Come on now. We go live. It's always fire at a We Go Live show. So if you ain't to be on a We Go Live show, you have to be like a certain type of echelon when it comes to being a performer, and that's usually who they choose. And you are, how long you been doing this for?
Only since like November full time, really.
Get out of my face.
Yeah.
What are we
I'm so
talking
serious.
about? Oh my God.
Yeah.
November. Whoa. They y'all see every time the number just keeps going down, and y'all just it ceased to amaze me. This is I love it. That is
Thank you.
Since November. Your skills and your writing ability and the pieces that you have and your performance looks like you've been doing it for way more than just since November.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're still growing. We're still going.
Definitely. How long have you been writing for?
I've been writing since I was 16.
Oh, okay.
But I would only like write in a journal. Like I was a real like writer.
Yeah.
Now I don't be like really writing my journal no more. I be writing in my notes or like my Twitter drafts, or just anytime something comes up to mind. And I don't have a journal with me, which I used to keep one around me all the time. But now I would just write in my notes anytime something pops up.
Do you prefer writing pen to paper, or do you prefer to text it out? Do you type it out eventually, or is it always just written down?
I think before I preferred to write it down, but then now, because my writing process is different, I prefer to just text things, and then I'll put it together like the way I'd like to. Because I feel like if I were to write it down with pen and paper and everything, I would be doing a lot of scribbling and a lot of erasing. And
so
a lot of adjustments.
you're evolving as you're going.
Yeah, but I also think it's because just before, like writing at 16 and everything, it wasn't like I was writing for an audience. So I was just writing to release. So whatever I put on the paper is what I put on the paper. I didn't feel the need to edit anything. It's like editing my feelings or my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now that I, it shouldn't be all the time, but a lot of the time I do write, with the subconscious thought of like this is going to be put on stage, so it is more planned out.
The transition has came. It is there. That's what's up. The feel of when it comes to like, oh, I just want to do this just to get this out, to like, no, this is what I do. It is a different feeling. Like, cause somebody can be like, I just want to go ahead and express at a poetry night one night. But somebody like you that gets up in the morning, is like, all right, what am I going to give to the people? Like, cause your style and what you have and what you do, it is very heartfelt. You have, you come with something that has so much intensity to it and so much feeling in it, and it's just like, oh my God, how do you feel before you step on that stage?
I'm always nervous going on stage, really. And I think it's crazy because I feel like I'm more nervous now than I was before starting off. when I was just doing it for like the heck of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't know anybody, and I didn't really have like many like poetry friends, or I was just doing it to release. I was like way less nervous because I was just doing it.
It has
just
more of a meaning
that.
behind it now.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I think now that I feel like I have more eyes on me, even when they aren't, like maybe people don't care, and I'm like less special than I think. But
they definitely care.
But like now that's like that, you know, like when I'm called up to the stage, there's like a couple people who know my name versus
the
like
whoops
before.
And the pops now. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So it's like now there's some sort of expectation that does have to be met. So I'm a lot more nervous now going on stage.
You are considered one of the big three of this freshman class that they have out here. And that is good. That is good. Because it also points out the fact that the way I like to look at you see that people have potential, and how you see normal people and you're like, oh, okay, they can do something, that's cool. But then when you see somebody that has it, and it's like, oh, hold on, this made everybody, like, you see when it comes to a show, you'll see people walk out and be like, oh, just walking around and be like, hold on, what's going on? And then they'll stop and be like, what's up? Oh no, she made me feel everything just now. When you see somebody like that on stage, it is a great feeling, and it's like I just want to talk to that person. I just need to have a conversation.
That is the best feeling.
Yes,
that is. The piece that I'm doing tonight, I just recently did at one, and when I did that, so many people like came up to me and they were like, oh, like that was very brave, and it sparked a conversation. A lot of the time, like that's the best thing, is when the poem or the piece sparks a conversation. Yes. And it's like there's more that needs to be said outside of just the 3 minutes, 5 minutes that you were just talking about this situation or this topic. It's great. It's great because you could dive deeper.
The things that you write about, they seem to have that they would leave you very vulnerable. How do you deal with, because I myself, like I self-deprecate, and it is one thing to be like, how's this going to be perceived, but also it's like, nah, nigga, you just being silly, so go out there and be silly. But when it comes to something like with your pieces, when it seems like they come from a deeper place.
Yes. Like,
how do you feel when you know you're going up to express that on stage?
Oh, I always feel a little bit conflicted. I'm not gonna lie, like it doesn't go away. But also, I think that's what makes a piece so exciting for me. Yeah. Is like I kind of like stirring the pot a little bit and talking about just like problematic stuff or hot takes and everything, and just because I've done the research on it. A lot of my pieces are research based, and I'm just
very kind
of just not consume it, but like congest it into like one, piece, 5 minutes or less. And I try to be like, if they are not going to do the research themselves, because a lot of the stuff I write about is stuff that I read about. If you're not going to do the reading yourself, I'm going to go ahead and just put it in a way that's consumable for you. And if you take it, you take it.
That's a very unique way to look at it, especially when you come to present. Like, what inspires you to like write a certain piece? Like, what gets you up and going? It's like, oh, this is what I need to talk about this. Like, how are you inspired?
Honestly, I'm very passionate about a lot of like social issues that go on in this world and everything. I think also it just comes from like consuming too much of the media and everything. It's very easy to get super involved or super influenced, and it could be a little draining sometimes. So sometimes, to make me feel less alone, I'm gonna go ahead and just spill all the beans in the piece or whatever. Especially if you're not woke about a situation, I might feel like some things need to be more put out there or more known about. That's what makes me. That's what drives it.
You have very teachable moments in your pieces, and it is very inspiring to see. Because it's like, oh, you can tell when somebody actually has gone just beyond, oh, I'm just gonna write these words of what I'm thinking. Like, nah, I'm actually gonna open the book up. I'm gonna open this book up and find some facts for y'all, just so you can't be like, oh, well, I don't believe this piece right here, or I don't believe that. If you don't believe it, you can go look it up. This is why it's being said. And so that there, I don't think I've spoken to anybody that's actually put that much work into it the way you do. Yeah, that there is very, very inspiring.
Well, sometimes I also don't want things to make it seem like are very personal, because yes, some of the things that I talk about are or have affected like personal experiences that I go through, or that a lot of people go through, that they might find like more relatable and everything. But when we go to the deeper issue, the deeper like root of the situation, that's where I try to get people to notice, really.
Yeah. You from Texas?
Yep.
Born and raised?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
All my life.
So where did you see your life going when you were a child? Like how was childhood? What you thought you'd be doing at this point in time?
Man, I didn't think I was going to be doing any of what I would be doing right now. Like, I always liked writing, but I did not think this all happened by accident. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like I've always liked poetry. I've always liked literature. In school, English was always my best subject. English and history.
Oh, there you go.
Doesn't that make it?
Those are the two right there that you put together as a value pack if you want to boost your life right there.
Doesn't that make everything make sense? Because a lot of like the pieces that I do are very like historical, like I said, research based and everything. So you could tell I really like history growing up.
There's a comedian that is very historical, very research based. His name is Shane Gillis, and it's fun to watch him because he's very silly, but also he's silly to the point to where he's also throwing out facts. And it's like, oh, okay, you being very silly, but also you giving me knowledge on like things I did not know in a very funny way, and I love that. Yeah, that side of you of things right there is very fun to have. Just because I'm not a person that gets too deep into things like that. Like, just because it's like I don't want to feel as if I'm preaching to the choir or something like that. You know, I just kind of like express my feelings in a way that I am. But to see when other people actually really get into it and throw out facts and such, and it's just like, it's more than just poetry to me. It's more of like a lesson now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's what it's supposed to be.
That is so fun. How do you know when your writing is done? How do you know when you have finished? You've gotten everything that you wanted to get in there. The research is to the T. You've dotted the I's and crossed the Q's. How do you?
Can I be honest? I never feel like a poem is done.
Yeah.
I never feel. I could always go on and on and on. And at that point, I'll just be like, you know what? This will be another poem. If I feel like. If it's on a topic that's very long and drawn out, I'll be like, yeah, I could get more into this later.
Yeah,
that's the kind of attitude that I have about it.
That's a fun attitude to have.
Yeah.
Do you have fun? Like, I'm a person that I like to come up with the headline of the poem or the name of the poem. Like, is that a thing that you really get into, or are you just like, whatever this is the name of it? Do you worry about names of your poems?
I used to not really title my poems like that, but now it's kind of I've started having a lot of fun with naming poems, because I'll usually name it something very, very sneaky. Yeah. That you gotta like catch on in the piece. It requires you to think a little bit more into it.
Exactly. It's like another little tidbit that I like to put in, and like, oh, if you understood this, then you understand where the name of the poem is coming from. I do enjoy that. Like, what is your favorite place to perform at?
To perform, honestly. Probably Rudyard's.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Intimacy. How low the ceilings are.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. I like it. It's just very, very, like, not so open, I guess. Everything is very close together. I feel like I'm closer to the floor, too. So I'm closer to... It doesn't really feel like I'm going on the stage too much.
Because my stage is pretty high.
And also, I think maybe since, like, my first feature was there, I've gotten really just... Yeah, that's home.
That's home there. Everybody has their home. So what was the origin story? What is your poetry origin story? What made you that? What was the accident that got you to where you are now?
So when I first started writing poetry, it was mostly, all of it was love and heartbreak kind of like pieces. It took me a very long time to get off of that, really? Train and just write about just anything else but my love life.
You make some people sad. You're like, damn.
Yes.
She needs a hug,
that's why
but also I need to hug myself.
That's exactly right. That's why when like Amir asked me to do like the love and heartbreak feature, I was like, you just want me to dig up my trauma. I've been trying to put this to rest, and now I got to go back into it, go in the lost files and everything. Yeah. But yeah, so actually I've been watching Juan poetry since like middle school, since before I even started writing.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I always loved spoken word, but I never planned on getting on the stage. I also did not know it was in Houston, and I've been in Houston my whole life. Uh-oh. My nose piece. No, I found it. Okay, it'll just stay right there.
Okay.
But yeah, like I always like watched it, and I never planned on getting on stage and everything. Like I said, I didn't even know it was in Houston until they followed me. Yeah, and I had this second page that I posted my poetry on because it was a secret. Yeah, everything was a secret. Because like I said, everything was love and heartbreak, and I didn't want that person to know. Side of me. Yeah, like I didn't want, and everybody. Yeah, it was very just personal stuff. So I was just like, I'm just gonna keep this, hidden and everything. Yeah. And then they followed me, and that was when I took a sign. I was like, oh shoot, like I gotta get on stage. I gotta put this out there. I just seen in their bio like it was off Westheimer. I was like, it's in Houston. This whole time I didn't know. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So when was the first time you got up on Avant's stage?
The first time I went on stage, I remember the date. It was December. Okay, maybe I don't remember. It's December 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
I know it was the 8th or 9th, whatever that Wednesday was.
Yeah.
And I did a piece that I have now extended. It was way shorter because I couldn't really memorize longer pieces at that time. But I didn't even have it titled at that time, but I have it titled now as Wash Day, and it's about it's a love poem, and it's like an allegory on like black hair.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, just
black love, black hair.
Just the combination of those words together. It's like, oh, that sounds very interesting. I definitely want to see where that leads whenever you do listen. That it seems like it tells the perfect story that you like. That made me feel good. I want to talk to my grandma now. That's awesome. Like, so I never thought. Whenever I went to Avant-Garde, and I just was looking for a place to do poetry. So, like, to see that, because I've talked to a few people now, and it was like, man, I used to just watch Avant-Garde on you. I was like, man, I ain't never just watched it before. Like, I see that it be on, but it never dawns on me that they've been around for quite some time, that it has gained the following to where, I grew up watching this, and now I'm on the stage. And so that there kind of boggles my mind a bit, and it's like, I'm like this platform that I am utilizing is bigger than what I'm imagining.
Absolutely.
In my head.
Now that you're in it now, it definitely makes you feel a lot different. Because I remember when I was watching so long ago, before I could write, or knew I could write, I was watching. It was like 3 main people, and I've met them all now this year. Yeah. It was Cari Janae.
Okay.
Ebony Stewart and Rudy Francisco. Oh. And I just actually met Kyla twice, for the second time, just recently before she went to Austin. She was doing like a tour in basically Texas. She went to Houston, Dallas, and Austin. And she like gave me a little shout out.
What?
When she did her set. Because when she was in Houston, she was doing this piece that was like, I wanted her to do this piece, and she didn't do the piece because she didn't have it memorized. So she did it that next day in Austin, and she gave me a shout out because she was like, this girl had my pieces literally memorized.
Come on.
And I was like literally completing some of her lines as she was going through her set because I just love her that much. And then, just met Rudy Francisco at his tour that he had in Houston recently. And then right after that was Ebony Stewart at one of the We Go Lives.
Yeah.
And I just seen her at the last one too, and I'm like, okay, so you come in Houston a lot.
Yeah.
So that's great. I could
awesome.
We could be friends.
Hell yeah. Like, so would you say that would be your inspirations, or do you have other people that truly inspire you to go where you're going?
Those are definitely my three right there.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, because, they're normal people still.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's even better because I used to really have them on a high pedestal and everything until like I even like performed on stage before Cari Janae went and started her feature and everything, and she came up to me and she was like, that was a great piece, and she was just that was a great piece.
Yeah.
She has a really spunky personality.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of like shook, and I was like, what? That's coming from you. But then she was just like, girl, you and I are one of the same, us Janaes, we got to stick together. I was like, okay, but yes.
That's what's up. Yeah, it is nice to see where people are going and the things that the interactions and the encounters that you get into, because in my head this doesn't I still can't wrap my brain around it, that Amir just recently went down to New Orleans with Zach Blunt, and they did a show with one of my homies, John LeCarbier, and they put on a show together at Cafe Istanbul down there, and they had a turnout of like 140 people. I'm like, yo, down in the city that I know where motherfuckers don't give a shit. They don't. I'm like, come on, son, that's what's up. Like, the power of poetry and where it's gone from what I know from what I've known to what I know now. It might have always been this way. I just wasn't in the realm of poetry like that until now. Like, it is almost to the sense of like how I feel like when it comes to the comedy, because that is my mainstay there. But when it comes to poetry, this is like the whole scene itself. It is just growing and it's becoming massive. People are getting like so much popularity and fame from it. Like I know T Sleeves went to do something with Charlemagne. I'm like, yo, from poetry, things is moving.
It's great, but you know what else I think it is? I think it's also because the audience is also changing what they're consuming in the media now. Not a lot of people are wanting to just hear the same stuff and consume all the like toxic things and everything. I think before, poetry was like considered kind of boring a little bit, because I remember just like scrolling my TikTok feed once and seeing like a spoken word, and it just like blew up, and I was just like, oh, so y'all like this? Let me come up with it, because I didn't even know like y'all really like. I've been watching this. I've always liked this. I was just kind of gatekeeping it to myself because that was just something that I was into that could have been considered nerdy at the time when I was like in middle school or early high school. And now my actual like people that I went to high school with are over here. Oh my gosh, I love Matt Capone. Da, da, da. And I'm like, what? What? Y'all was never into this.
And then now it's the
but also the things that are being spoken about too. We're talking about social issues. We're talking about love. We're talking about some things that people can pick and choose what they most resonate with and most need to hear at the moment. So that's why I try to like diversify all the topics that I talk about.
Where's your favorite place to write at?
Man, that is so crazy. I really just be writing at home for
anywhere. It don't matter, wherever the spark arises.
But it doesn't matter, actually. Yeah, like, because I've written in coffee shops. I've written in nature. I've really been trying to get in the habit of doing that more to get out of my bed.
Those.
I really need to work on that. I write too much just in the comfort of my own home. I just want to feel like if I'm outside, maybe I'm people watching or, touching some grass.
Yeah.
It would definitely help me a lot more.
I definitely I take my trips to nature from time to time just because it's not a place where I write. I prefer to write in my car or the shower. That's where it happens.
You
the
know
best.
what?
Yes.
The shower. I didn't even realize. Like,
that's where your most inspiration comes.
Wait, you just did something. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm at home, but if I'm really being honest, a lot of thoughts come in the shower.
Yes, they do.
A lot.
Yeah.
It would just be so unintentional. And then that's when I go back into my bed and I'm like, I got to remember this, what I was just thinking.
Yeah. That's one of the places. Last time I was talking about, like, with Truth, I was talking about I have a squeegee in my shower. I meant a dry erase board. But I definitely need to have something just so I can, like, I don't have to leave the sanctity of the shower because this is where the good fucking vibes is at right here, and I can be able to write down all the goodness that comes right here, and then, things won't get erased. But like somebody once told me, like, do you know how sometimes when you have something in your head and you're like, oh, I gotta remember this, I gotta write this down, and then as soon as you go into another room, you forget it.
Yes.
Yeah, they said it's because it's like crossing a plane of energy. Basically, you're in this area where the thought arrived. You're here, but as soon as you cross this threshold or this doorway right here, you crossed into a different plane of energy, and now
that makes so much sense.
Yeah, I was like, what? That is so wild. Yeah, so I definitely want to, before I leave the shower, I definitely need to have whatever I was thinking written down, because I understand once I leave out, all these other thoughts are gonna rush in my head, and I'm gonna forget about what the spark of perfection I had.
That is so true, because there's so much energy work that is being done when you're bathing yourself. Like, honestly, like you're literally washing off, like, not just like the dirt off your body, but like just also the dirt in your mind and everything. You're stripping down some things, some thoughts, some subconscious wear and tear, and
definitely.
And you know, when you get that thought, it is important to get it out. That's why I should probably get in the habit of that, because that's happened too many times to me where I would, think, oh, okay, I gotta write that down when I'm ready to, and I'm like, no, in that moment.
And
that's when you need to do it.
Because I'll lose my mind if, like, there's things that I've forgotten to where I was like, what?
Yes.
Oh no, that was
genius.
That could have been that could have been the one. That's the one that's gonna take me somewhere,
right? Like,
and I lost it.
That was $1 million line
that
right
is so
there.
Good. Oh, what do you do when that happens? How do you take that?
Honestly, I do always get it back.
Oh,
I do always get it back. I do.
I envy
but
that.
But sometimes it be just taking a minute, and I be getting so frustrated. But it's in that frustration that it doesn't happen. Sometimes I'll go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then wake up, and it'll come. I always get it back.
Oh, lucky.
I always get it back. Yeah. But it's still so anxious.
Yeah.
Like, it's still so bad when it happens.
Bring me to tears. I'm like, I can't believe that was so good. I don't even know what it was.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I need to be. I shouldn't tear up for this. And something usually better comes. I mean, I say that it's better because I can't remember what I lost before. But still, like, when I do have the ones that I'm like, oh, I fished this one out. Like, I got this one. I love that. So what? When you are writing, do you have those? Because you're a very well read person. Do you have those moments where words just come out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, that fits perfectly?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when it's like big words too. I'm like, I get proud of myself. I'm like, oh wow, I just thought about that.
I've always wondered where they come from. Yeah. It's up there. I do sometimes have to see how to spell it, because I'm like, I don't say this word on a daily. So I need to go in,
make sure the meaning is correct. Make sure you're using it in the right context.
Exactly.
I'm very big on that.
Yeah, I do that often. I'm like, all right, this word came out of nowhere. I mean, it came for a reason. I feel as if it needs to be here, but also I'm not really sure if it means what it's supposed to mean. So let me check it out before I go out on stage looking dumb.
I'm going to always do that, because even just outside of poetry, I am that friend that if we're having that conversation, I'm so
really?
annoying.
You that person?
I'm that person. Yeah.
I don't mean that. You can't say that. You shouldn't say those
like,
words.
I'm that person. Like, when I see you like say a word that, and I know what word you're thinking, but you just said something that sounds like that word that I'm like, you mean this word.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, poet. Like, and I'm just like, well.
I'm one of those people that I have a habit of doing that too. I had my auntie and my grandmother were English teachers. So, just since being raised in New Orleans, this is why I talk this way, because it's not New Orleans. It's people always wonder why I sound like I talk from up north, something like that. Because I always got corrected on my English. So, and also I enjoyed English. I did well in English in high school. So when it comes to speaking, I do have a tendency to correct people on certain things, and sometimes I do it spitefully. Just be like, oh, I don't care what this person is saying, so I'm waiting for you to fuck up just so I can correct you.
Oh, you're so mean.
Yes. From
I
time
never
to time
do
I do
it
that.
spitefully.
I can't help it.
It's very educational because I think I get a lot of my appreciation for literature from my dad, and he used to always do that to me. It was the most annoying thing. So I'm like, I'm gonna be that person to other people now.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I guess that's the comic side of me. Then it's like, oh, I'm going to shit on you right now. Like this is like, oh, you.
No, it is a funny way, because imagine somebody trying to like talk mad crap about you and everything, and they just mess up in their lines or their grammar, and you're like,
oh, I'm about to get you. The power of words.
It's a good opportunity.
The power of words is something else, and I do enjoy being able to be quick-witted and very witty.
Yes,
and that is always, because in the field of performing, yeah. Oh, how was your memory?
It's a lot better now. Like, you mean with memorizing a poem,
yeah,
or just like memory in general?
Well, memorizing the poem. I know my memory in general can be very iffy but to something particular when you're trying to memorize like a certain piece.
I'm so much better at it now.
How long would it take you how long does it normally take you now to memorize a piece compared to back then when you first started?
If I'm truly focused, like with the piece that I'm doing tonight, I just finished writing it 2 days ago.
Ooh.
And it's memorized.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up.
And the thing is, or actually, if we're thinking about, because it wasn't completely done when I did it at 1.
Yeah.
But that day,
you did a piece that wasn't done all the way? You just got it out there?
I was just trying to get it out there because it's a very emotional piece. I had to just get out the emotions out of it. And I feel like I could have done at least what I had done of it. Yeah. I could have done that memorized. But since it's such a heavy piece, I was just like, I'm going to read off my phone, but I'm really big on not reading off my phone. Yeah. So I try to memorize things as fast as I can, especially if I'm in a rush to get it out there to the public.
Yeah, I take my time with it because my memory it's pretty good. I have certain methods and stuff to go ahead and memorize things. Also, one thing that helps me memorize my pieces the best is if I feel as if I embarrass myself with the piece, meaning as if I know the piece isn't ready, but I go do it in front of a crowd anyway, and I flub up. And I know that the next day, if I sleep on it, boom, it's just there and it doesn't leave. It's so weird. Yes,
that's exactly what happens.
Yeah. I know, like every time I get to the stage, although I try not to think this way, but mentally it bogs me down anyway. I sometimes come to the stage like, hey man, you know this the first time. You know you're gonna fuck it up. You know you're gonna fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. And it's like, don't say that. Shut up. I got this.
Anytime you say that, you're gonna do it.
Yeah. Basically.
I always do that.
And I try not to jinx myself. I try not to when I go on stage because I'm already nervous. when I'm coming up there. I've worked on this piece for so long now, and it's like, all right, it's if you get through it and you get through it well, it's gonna be a fun piece. It's like riding a horse, you know. It's like, oh, that was a joy, you know. It had its ups and downs, you know. But if you can't get through it, it feels like you just walked into a dark closet.
Yes, I also think I get just surprised by like something that I may think looks or sounds unfinished. When I just put it out there and not like think too hard into it, and I notice what the crowd may think, and maybe they catch some lines that I didn't think people were gonna catch, or whatever, only made sense to me. I get really surprised, and I'm like, oh, okay, so y'all really mess with this for real.
Okay. I do get excited
Something
about that.
I didn't think made sense actually made sense, or it was caught. I'm like, wow.
I like people that like to break down lyrics, that like to take words and it's like, this what you're talking about? It's like, oh, you got that?
Yes.
You saw that? Oh my God. Like,
yes.
I've had a few people actually come up to me and do something similar to that, to where it's like, hey man, I felt you when you was talking about such and such. And it's like, I didn't think anybody was listening at all. And to say that that's what you got, that's what I was writing for. Thank you for solidifying that what I'm doing is reaching people. You know, that's the gratification that, you know, us as artists need sometimes, just to understand that, hey, keep going, keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing the right thing. You know, that it does feel. How are you with compliments?
So
because you're new to this and you're getting a lot of them.
It just depends. Like, I always appreciate it. I always value the compliment a lot more when it's like, when I can tell that you're listening. You know, versus just like, oh, that was a good poem, or that was a good piece and everything. I feel like a lot of people just say that just to say that. But then when I'm just like what you said, like, oh, this part right here, that's what really spoke to me. Or even if they're not even complimenting and they're just like, what did you mean when you said this? And it's just sparking a conversation. I value conversations more than the compliments. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I like that answer. That is nice. Yeah, that's poetry right there. Because
that's what I'm really doing it for. Even when I'm writing for the audience, I'm not writing to get, you know, the snaps and claps. Sometimes the silence lets me know you're listening.
You're listening, yeah.
I don't always have to have the, like, ooh, or the eyes, you know, the ad libs. Yeah, like, I don't always have to have that. Sometimes that's distracting, honestly.
Oh,
especially if I'm doing a very emotional piece, or piece that requires, like, maybe I have like back-to-back bars that needs your full attention for the whole bar, and you're just like, oh, and I'm like, okay, but you're gonna miss this one.
Don't tell me rewind. I'm gonna fuck up if you tell me rewind.
Exactly, because I ain't gonna rewind.
Be like, what? Listen. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what's forward. You want me to go back to? No, I can't.
Let me stop though. I do appreciate a little.
A good rewind. It's like, oh, you killing it.
Let me stop, because they gonna stop doing it, and then it's just gonna be dead silence. Let me stop. No,
I do. Hey, if I've done the piece enough, I do appreciate a good rewind.
Right. If I just gotta do, if I just put it out there, nah, man, I'm not gonna rewind.
I'm not trying to discourage the rewinds. Just understand, you know, you can't
this
can't just throw them out there at all. Just willy-nilly, man. Rewinds really mean something to us when we on stage.
Yes.
Especially if you know it's my first time. Don't. I mean, sure, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you
like if I said new piece, don't do that on a new piece.
Yeah, let me get through it, please. This is emotional, and I'm trying to get my feelings out. You want me to go back to something? I'm trying not to remember.
The first time I do it's not to perform, it's to let it out.
Yes.
And then and maybe the second and the third time after that.
Yeah.
But the fourth time, I'm gonna have my hand theatrics, because that's something that I'm also trying to implement more into my performance, is adding the use of my hands or my face or my body language and everything, instead of just being like sitting there and just talking or overdoing it with the hands.
This is one thing I've just noticed. Most poets do not. All poets that I've known, they don't take the mic out to stand.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to do that, but I'm like, are we not supposed to do that, or can we not do that, or like walk around?
Yeah, like why wouldn't you?
And just kind of like engage and everything.
Right, and then usually when the walk around happens, it's usually there is no mic and it's an intimate room, and then people are just kind of like,
or they're just yelling, no mic, just projecting with their voice. I also want to get to that level too, but I'm trying to be better with raising my voice and projecting on the stage.
Like it never does, but it seems like people are comfortable that way, because most poets do express with their hands and their gestures.
I think that is why too. I also really like sitting down, on a little stool.
And
just
that is quaint.
Yes.
It is quaint when people do that.
Just
It's like it
so
brings people
personal.
in.
Again,
Yeah.
I'm closer to the floor.
Yeah.
I could like maybe not be at eye level with you, but we getting closer. We're getting a little more intimate. Whatever.
Yeah.
I butterfly.
Oh, that's a good sign. A butterfly came out with truth as well. That's awesome. I usually, when it comes to sitting and everything, that's when I know that, I'm thinking too much about how I'm sitting on this chair. And if my feet dangle too much, I'm definitely gonna be worried about that more than the piece that I'm doing. So I don't even try to sit down. Like I have sat down a few times thinking that it would be cool.
I can imagine that with you. Not the maniacal menace. No.
Yeah, I need to be up and about.
He gotta be up and moving.
I definitely gotta be doing things with my hands and my legs and such. Like, it is, those are fun times. Like I do miss being on the stage just because I don't do it as much as often now, just because family. Family comes first at this moment, and got the little infant at the house, the infant and the missus, and it's just like, all right, I got to worry about this aspect before I can actually get into, really get back into how I want to perform and how I want to be out and about. Because, like, how do you measure your time? Like, how do you use your time sparingly?
Man, I'm really struggling with that right now, honestly.
Okay. I'm not the only one. All right.
I really am. No, not at all. I'm really still struggling with that. I think you just have to. I haven't even really mastered it, so I feel like, who am I to give advice? But honestly, what has worked for me is just honestly listening to what feels right at the moment. If I don't feel like doing poetry, I'm not going to do it because it would be a waste of time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing it with my mind and my heart completely in it and everything. Yeah. So I would wait for moments where I do feel like I could put my all into it. That way the time that I'm investing in the craft is being well spent.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
That's good. When it comes to this freshman class, because it is nice to see that. It is nice to see that. Oh, we doing school with this poetry thing. We gonna bring this back. I
never heard
freshmen, sophomores, and juniors and shit. That's how we looking at it. I love it. And so I look at it as I do it. I'll be around, but I'm one of those kids that come to school kinda. I'm there, I show up, but then I also don't show up, kind of like a Breakfast Club situation. Like, I'll show up, I'll be here, I do my thing. He's smart, he do his thing, but sometimes he just don't show up at school. And it's like, your attendance is terrible.
I was going to say, I was like, how's my attendance been? I feel like I'm getting a lot better now. Yeah. But I was like on a little break. Yeah. That
attendance is needed, though. I mean that what the attendance is needed, but the breaks are also needed.
Absolutely,
the breaks are definitely needed.
Yeah, because you gotta like literally. If you think about how poetry is inspired and stuff, it's not inspired by doing poetry. You gotta live.
You gotta live. Definitely
you gotta live.
Yeah.
So it's the only way it makes sense.
At certain points, I felt as if I was getting stagnant because I wasn't living enough.
Exactly.
I was just going up performing, and it's like, well, these are just kind of like going by the wayside
serial
now.
Performances.
Yeah.
That's how it's been for me, and then I would realize like I'm not really spending too much time with my friends like that, or outside. Anytime I go out, it's a poetry event. I always have fun, but just it could get.
I like not being stuck in a certain state of mind, because usually when I'm performing a certain piece or a certain poem repetitiously, where I continue doing it in certain places, it puts me in that certain mindset, and I'm like, I need to come up with something different. I'm tired of being in this state of mind right now. I definitely would like something. I would switch it up just a bit, just so I can have more than what I've been doing. And it's like, I definitely need to go out here and write. I need to go live so I can go get some experiences in. Like, I get to a certain point to where I write something, and it's like, I ain't been living enough. Like, I get through a middle of a poem, and I'm like, oh no, I can't. Like, I don't have enough experience tokens to go ahead and finish this piece that I'm doing. Now I need to go ahead and put this down. How long have you put something down before you came back to it?
Ooh. My piece, Misandria the Mandingo.
Oh.
That piece right there.
Yeah.
I put it down, picked it up, put it down, read a book.
Yeah.
Picked it back up again, figured out I need to do some more research.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to sound like that's a piece that's about the hypersexualization and fetishizing of black bodies, like specifically black male bodies and everything. And so I didn't want to go into that piece making it sound offensive or like I was like shaming black men or blaming black men, but I'm just like, I just want you to know that this is where it's coming from. We going all the way back to the slave times, and it's gonna be a little history lesson, and it's gonna be uncomfortable,
right?
But I want it to be from a factual place, not always like a feeling based poem. You know, because I don't want somebody just being like, you sound like an angry black woman.
Yeah, there's so many thoughts that go through our head as I put these words to this paper. It's I've there's a few things. I've rewrote some poems just because, like, I have two pieces that are very similar, just because it's like, I don't know if people are going to take this properly. Like, the world's gotten really soft lately, and I want to express, but I don't know how to express appropriately to where that people are going to understand what I'm trying to get at, but also not judge me for how I'm saying it. Yeah. And it's just like, so I definitely go back in there. I'm like, is this good enough? Is this not gonna? I hope this doesn't trigger too many people or anything of the sort. But it's just like, well,
sometimes
how am I gonna be able to write?
Though. Yeah. Sometimes it needs to. Like, I really started to learn that when it comes to pieces that are meant to be uncomfortable, let it be uncomfortable. And we could sit in the uncomfortability and we could talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, make people uncomfortable.
Hell yeah.
Make people triggered.
That's what I'm talking about.
Some people.
I definitely would like to. I get in the realm of when I do write, overthinking it too much. And it's not. I'm not allowing it to flow. Like, when I can allow it to flow, then it means that that's usually when the best moments happen. But when I really block myself from allowing something to just appear because I'm worried about how people are gonna feel about it, it's just like, this is gonna slow down the process.
Yep. It only will, because it's also gonna just make you hyperfixate on your delivery of things, and you're gonna change the way you deliver with your pieces, and it's going to change the way you feel about it. And we're not going to get the authentic version of that piece,
right?
Or the organic version, or the raw version, I should say.
Hey,
maybe we'll get, like, your
PG-13, your TV 17 version. This is for
processed version. I don't want the processed version.
No, I definitely want to give you my true feelings when it. I've been enjoying, but like, cause I'm in two different realms. Like, so from time to time, poetry will come up, but also comedy comes up, and I'm trying to intertwine both of them to where my comedy pieces are also my poetry pieces as well.
Yes.
Yeah, which is very difficult when I think about it a lot. I'm like, damn it, this is like, it seemed so easy in the beginning when I first started out, because I didn't worry about much. I didn't worry about how people were going to feel about it. I just wanted to kind of do it because it was something different. Now that I've been doing it for so long, I kind of worry about the things that I talk about now.
I see. I get that, because it could be a little scary.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is open-minded. We got a lot of closed-minded people and very sensitive people that are going to hear things and want to be offended. They're going to find a reason to be offended. Yeah. You know what I mean? And to those people, I'm just like, you're not the person for poetry or comedy, really. Because, like, sometimes I've sat through comedy shows or videos and, like, actual TV shows and everything. And I'm just like, but then I'm like, I see that was very clever. I like the way you put that. Sometimes I could appreciate, even if it's something I don't want to hear. Yeah, I could appreciate the way you thought about that and placed it Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Because I mean, everybody's still an artist out here.
Yeah.
I've had I know it's not the thing to look at the comments, but it's, when you glance at them every once in a while, it's nice. It's not saying that I get a lot of them, but I've had when it came to grandmothers, I've had somebody that actually came on there and was like, yeah, you need to keep rap out of poetry, and you shouldn't be talking about things like that, and this is not. And it's like, damn. It made me, and see, because me bringing it back up now, I'm being bitter about the situation. And it was just one person that felt this type of way about it. Everybody else is cool. And it's like, why do I fixate on that one motherfucker?
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't mean to.
I definitely felt that way about a piece that it went, I guess you can say, viral a couple times. And I was reading through these fake comments, and I'm just like, some of y'all are some insults for real. Like, it'd be funny. I'd just be like, that don't make no sense.
It never does.
I've been wanting to respond. I responded to a couple. I'm not gonna lie.
I did too.
But I'm not biased to just the negative comments. Yeah. If I see somebody trying to help me out, and we could go 2-on-1 together. We just go
boom, attack. Oh, you want to step in? Yeah, I've had other people come in and also come under that. It was like, what are you talking about, lady? You shouldn't say it. And it's like, oh man, I got some social warriors. Thank y'all. That feels good. It feels good to have a social warrior out there. Man, because this life that we live in nowadays, this artist performing life, nigga, we all can be seen, and that makes life extra difficult because fame can come out of nowhere, and that pop is ridiculous.
It's not for the right. Oh my gosh, the piece that I'm thinking of, like somebody that I went to middle school with.
Was it a good interaction or was it too much?
I feel so ashamed that I had a crush on this guy too, because it was my piece. It was my piece, Boy Math. Yeah. And he was just like, yeah, like this blew up, but it's for the wrong reasons. You have everybody hating you, and I'm just like,
oh, such a hater, yo. Don't get mad. And this is your crush. Like that's what.
Oh no, we don't. I was like, what, 12?
Such a hater. Oh yeah, a 12-year-old crush? Oh, you ain't nothing. No. You ain't shit, sir. No. Don't get mad because it did really well for the right reasons. It don't blow up because everybody hates something. Nah, especially the work that she puts out. No.
Like I said, with making people uncomfortable, sometimes that is the message, and that is the point. And if it did that, then I did my job. It's not always about.
It touched you enough for you to say something and not you mad. Good. I did what I was supposed to do.
Exactly.
That one's for you. You lost out. Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. We've come around to the end. This has been yes, this has been very enjoyable moments. Towards the end, for everybody new that I bring on here, we like to play a game of choices, just to break up the monotony of everything. So you got play a game of choices. You got 4 options and 4 choices. All right. Your choices are: you got to be one, raise one, sell one, and have relations with the other one. Okay? Be one, raise one, sell one, relations with the other one. And your options are a mermaid, a mogwai, a Mexican, and a manatee. All right? Be one, raise one, sell one, relations with the other. All right, have at it.
Oh my gosh.
And if you need to know what a mogwai is, I got you.
What is a mogwai? I don't know what that is.
You ever seen Gremlins, the movie Gremlins? Gizmo?
Let me see.
Let me, I got you. Hold on. My phone is janky, so you probably got better eyes than me. There we go. Okay. Here it is. And that's a mogwai. Can you see
Oh
that?
my gosh. Okay. 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 Be one, raise one, sell one, have relations with
the other one.
Other one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what are the other 4?
Mermaid. Mogwai, Mexican, manatee.
Okay. I'm gonna sell the manatee.
Okay, that's fine. Boom, we making money already. Off top, we making money. Let's get it.
I want to be a mermaid.
Oh, all right, of course. Yeah, go ahead.
Duh.
Sell your own kind. We gonna
Be a
this
mermaid.
aquatic life. We gonna sell you real quick.
Wait, that's the way they connect the.
It's like water slavery.
Oh, that's so bad.
I love
this
it.
Is great.
No, you can have your own narrative though. It's fine.
I want to raise the amagwai. You know,
Okay.
yeah, I want to raise one.
All right, that's so nice.
And then I guess I'll have relations with the Mexican.
There you go.
Mermaid.
That works. You know.
Okay.
You know, depending on.
I feel like that makes. I try to make it make sense.
No,
I
no one.
tried.
Everybody. Some people try to make it make sense. Some people try to make it the worst sense ever, and it's always fun. Everybody has their own fingerprint whenever it comes to this, and it's so crazy because I've done so many. I'm almost on 200 episodes now, and I've done this with whatever the first person that comes on, and they're always it's like, I want to do this, then this, and it's like, oh wait. Oh, if I do that, then this is gonna happen. And like raising a magwai in the water, being a mermaid, it is pretty dangerous because you can't get them wet after midnight. And you know, so
Okay.
but that's it's okay. You can put them in a sandy cheeks bubble from SpongeBob. So you know, there's many
I'll
ways
just have
to
you
go
plan
around
it out for me.
I got you.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Hell yeah, man! This has been great. So, Cari. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
Okay, yeah. So, if you want to find me, Cari Janae, it's going to be Love Me Easy on Instagram. Spelled normally LOVEMEEASY.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, Instagram. Well, be out on the lookout for Cari Janae because she's out here doing big things. And you know what this is. This has been Tell Me a Joke. The guy down there chasing the dream. I've been your host, Maniacal. Menace. Houseman. Say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. And until next time, like, subscribe, share, do all that shit. You know, I hate saying it, but nobody makes me. But, if it helps, tell somebody. You know. And until next time, keep dreaming, jokers.